Alrighty, continuing on with the stream. I've messed around a little bit with some of the audio mixer settings and enabled some noise reduction or noise suppression. And we'll see if this sounds any better. Adjust the microphone a little bit. I'm not sure necessarily if the mix is going to be majorly different or not, but it should be a little louder. And I've also set it so that it's going to be recording at 1080p 60 natively to the computer itself, still uploading at 720 just in case bandwidth issues arise, and we'll see if that changes anything when we upload to YouTube. So let's get started. We were ready just to go into we're flying into Palamisia now. Let's see. All right. There we go. As we did yesterday. Oh, I didn't sell the Coherus. We got basically all the items we could possibly need. And before the very end of the game, probably going to do, like, we're going to take on the final area, which is, what's it there, Pandemonium. We'll probably spend whatever money we have left on elixirs, just so we can have them in our emergency, because that is going to make all the difference in the final battle. So we're in here. Let's use all of our magic. We have enough. If we make sure that we are just going through here quickly and not dawdling too long, we should have enough. And plus, with the elixirs that we have, magic that we can just keep powering up our flare, our holy, and our ultimate. Oh, we got another Ripper. You know what? 2 Rippers, because it does that extra 140 to 160 or so damage. So we're technically getting 4 attacks in now. Alright, so floor 1, and there's a chest way over there. Time to heal up Rickard. And let's see here. all to level 12. All of them to level 12 pure? Yeah, I'll get them all to level 12 pure, and then we'll just use items so that we can keep all of our MP reserved for attack spells. Diamond Purist. Not for you. Also not for you. Okay, Richard, you can have that for now. Oh, that was pretty brutal. Actually, let's see where we are spell-wise. Because I think we're probably, Flare's starting to get there. Ultima. Okay, they're all about equal right now. Of course. But you know what? I had to check it. Okay. Healed enough. Maybe I'll just give Ricker shields if we can pick up any shields in here. So when he's defending, he can basically block everything. Hey, again. Oh, you got your fireman gauge. They were supposed to get 11 editions, or 11 copies, and they only got 2? There's going to be some really pissed off people. Yeah, I'll probably end up playing that a little later today. Let me know what the chat mix sounds like on your end. I can always turn down the game audio if need be, or if I'm peaking or too much. It looks okay on my end, but, you know, you can't necessarily hear yourself. Oh yeah, okay, so there's 3 ways, or 2 ways up. Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, I turned on the high quality noise suppression, or noise isolation. It gave me a warning, it's like, your NVIDIA, your NVIDIA drivers are out of date for that. It's like, well, there's no NVIDIA drivers on here, because there's no NVIDIA in this computer. What I've also done is I'm now, like, the actual capture of this video is in 1080p 60, but the Twitch stream is downsampled to 720 60 just for the sake of the bit rate. but it's also recording an AV1. I actually did not. Well, okay, I can see the monitor on the mixer, but I didn't actually listen to see. I'll have to go through everything else, but that's good to know that there's an option for me to check that. But what I've done is I've set it so that it's also recording at the same time to a raw, like a 1080p, screen for screen size capture in AV1, and then I'll be uploading that to YouTube. I did with the AV1 file that I recorded yesterday of the 720p stream, and I actually had to take it to unlisted because while it uploaded, it took like an hour or so to process, but it was stuck at 360p for like 6 hours, and then it finally popped in with the 720p copy. It's just, I guess, because it has to take a lot longer to process. I thought it would be a lot quicker because when you upload to YouTube using like VP9, let's say you do like 1080p VP or even 4K 60 VP9, it is basically instantaneously, as long as the bitrate is low enough or it's close enough to their own, they'll actually use that, and you can see that stream almost immediately. H.264 it takes about like an hour, but yeah, like you figure the AV1 would be perfect, but I guess they're not there just yet. All right, so let's lower the in-game audio slightly. Let's go with somewhere around. Come on. Maybe there. That might be a little better. If not, I might actually go there. That's probably a little closer to being balanced. If not, let me know and I can turn it down ever so slightly more. Okay, better. That's good. So let's see again. Okay, we're gonna go in here. And if it ends up being the correct path, we'll probably just go back and check the other path and have to get that chest down there anyway. Oh, that's not good. Alrighty. Okay, just the chest. Where? Ultima. I didn't even notice yesterday that Ultima is listed as a white magic spell in this game. Usually it's the ultimate black magic spell, but I guess that's flare in this one. What have we got here? Hourglass. Flow of time. Let's use these guys up, because yesterday when I was playing, I realized that you can actually run out of inventory space very fast because all the enemies kept dropping dropping a ton of cool items. And I was like, oh man, I gotta drop some items. And then I looked and found out you can't drop items out of your inventory in Final Fantasy II, even in the Pixel Remaster. And that would mean that you'd have to exit the entire dungeon, go and sell everything, and then go back and try to find your way back to where you were. And not only that, the inventory is not very large, and I was like, oh man, I know I'm going to get like good stuff from chests in here, but the enemies were getting kind of hard in some areas, and I was like, okay, that's not fun. I'm glad that later on they had the option to like actually drop items. Yurasuna is there. And Ether's basically heal almost nothing in this game. I'm only on the second floor, and I've already used most of them. But I did get a bunch of elixirs. So we should be good for going through this dungeon. And get level up for our more powerful spells here. See how close we're getting with the magic. Pretty close. Looks like they're going to pop in the next battle or two. And we're going to start using items to heal. And the potions go right fast here. Garlic. And Holy went level up. Okay. Let's see if it changed the animation. Wait, where are we going here? Top right, top, bottom right, both have chests, okay. Oh, it did, it changed the animation. so. It's weird. Section there on the left. So now we're at a point where a lot of the enemies are actually bosses earlier in the game that are now just regular enemies. This is the boss that you had to kill to free Finn, the kingdom. He was the general, and it's like, I'm fighting him like all the time here. So ultimately leveled up. We got another Ripper. Alright. And the Alto spell's looking even larger. Holy crap. Buckler. It's a weak shield. Yeah, since I've only got him defending, he raises his evasion, it's probably worth putting it on him. Blair should be leveling up pretty soon. Wonder if at level 10 it changes its animation too. It's gotta be real close. Yep. Oh, and he fled. I remember something about there being one or two blood swords in this game, and that they're, you know, you use them, you attack somebody and you absorb their HP, but that they were kind of weak. But I seem to recall if you equip them when fighting the final boss in the game and a couple of the other, oh god, here, don't kill me, one or two of the other mini bosses at the end of the game, that, uh-oh. Is this guy literally gonna kill me because I can't wake up? Yep. And there is absolutely nothing I can do. And there's not really any defense against sleep. Well, we're gonna have to restart the floor. See, this is the kind of unbalancing that you find in this game, even after I'm up here. I have to go back down there and do that. Even after... We're just going to attack. We're not going to level up the spells this floor again. We'll do it after. Even after picking up the Pixel Remaster, they still have stupid things like that, like how there's not a chance that when an enemy hits you that it'll do a status effect. It's every hit is a 100% status effect for every enemy that can do a status effect. That's something that should have been addressed. And there are items and equipment that I've got equipped. I have equipment equipped that's supposed to protect against certain status effects, and they just don't. Or it's like a flipping coin, like, or even less than that. It's like maybe they only protect 25% of the time. I don't see any like ribbons in this game that protect against everything, like in pretty much all the other Final Fantasies. And this is like considered the easier version of this game. So we'll get back to that side of the screen. All right. Yoshi bow. Is that like one of the better bows? Oh, wow. Wow, big increase. Legendary bow of unparalleled power cast berserk when used in battle. Okay, well, I guess it was worth dying there. Still get to the bottom of the screen and go to the next floor. Because once that happens, we can at least go back to using our spells and leveling them back up. Okay. All right, we're on the next floor, finally. So, chest all the way around the side there. And we're going to do a quick save. Alright, go back to using our spells like we were before. Ultima is doing more damage to some of these enemies now than a lot of our attacks can do because of the way their defenses are, so worth leveling up with this. What's in this chest? Monsters. Oh, Imperial Shadow. So, the Emperor's Shadow. There's lots of parts of this game that I feel like they were not reused, but there was homages to it in Final Fantasy. Oop, you just used death on me. I didn't like that. Final Fantasy V. Like the job system and everything from Final Fantasy III gets used over, but some of the enemies like this, like the shadows of the boss, like in Final Fantasy V, there's Exdeath's Shadow, so on, in the one castle. Thunder Spear, eh? I'm not even going to equip him with it because I know after this we're getting our final party member, so I don't want to accidentally leave it on him and then find out I forgot to de-equip it. Yeah, just to be safe, let's do a quick save so we don't have to start over at the beginning of this floor and do that over again. And now the holy spell is starting to get that cool anime crescent moon explosions look. I should get Flare 10 fairly soon. Let's see here. So Ken, what comes in that Fire Emblem Engage collector's box set? Is it similar to like a lot of the other Nintendo ones? I just haven't seen it where like it has a much bigger box and like a art book, or does it come with like a CD or anything? Steelbook, art cards, full-size art book. That's not bad. I wish more Nintendo stuff came with soundtracks, but they don't seem to really do that. I'm trying to think of like things that were... Octopath came with one, that's the last time I purchased a collector's set from the Flare leveled up. Good. And that was... I know that was Square, but that was a weird situation where I believe initially Nintendo helped with the publishing, or they at least put together the collector set themselves. Oh, the DMC. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so Flare is level 10. The others are working their way up. Let's see. Oh, Flare looks really cool now. One problem I have with steelbooks is it depends on who's putting out the steelbook. Like, I know there's an official company that does, but some of them are like thinner and like lower quality, or they're almost bent when you first get them, or even worse, like they'll have like a plastic retainer for the disc or whatever's on the inside, and that like starts to like split out of the case. Yeah, Japanese CD release is probably the best way to go. And I love my vinyl collection, and I do like collecting for it. But whenever I see game soundtracks coming out now, like they went from wanting like 50 or 60 bucks for, you know, a double LP, and I'm like, you know, that's kind of pricey, but I can justify it in like it being a collector's item. To a lot of them being like well over $100 to pre-order, I'm like, that's just too much for music. And then you'll see like the CD is like $60 or $70, and I'm like, even on Amazon, like that's just nutty. Okay, so there's a door down there. It's probably a fake door because we have the stairs to go up, but it might actually be a chest room. So we're gonna check that out. So there's a chest on the bottom, a chest on the left, and that's it. Let's see. Okay, so Nintendo uses the actual steelbook company, yeah. Because, like, I found that game companies were using really cheap, crappy, like, not knockoff steelbooks, you know, but not the steelbook company. And I found that if you got, like, imported UK releases, it was 50-50 whether or not they were going to be the good ones or not. For the most part, I think it's been pretty safe with the 4K import releases, because with 4K, you know, there's no region coding or anything, so I would always like the option of getting the steelbooks, but I'm also somebody now who doesn't really care about how they look on the shelf anymore, as long as they're on the shelf. I much prefer like standard size cases because I don't want to run out of too much space. Yeah, Sega Atlas. That Catherine release, I heard from multiple friends that it was like one of the worst steelbooks I've ever seen. Like, I'm trying to think of one that I might have received that was like weirdly dented or had problems. Movie-wise, I think there was a steelbook copy of The Thing that I had that had problems, but game-wise, I haven't really gone for them that much, and I can't think of one off the top of my head that I purchased, but I heard that there was problems with Catherine, and wasn't there another Atlas Sega title that had trouble? And there was, or was it one of the Square Enix ones that had, like they were using some cheapy knockoff company, and almost all of them, they weren't just, like, even the ones that weren't dented, the steelbook case was like a millimeter thinner than it should be, so like even picking it up was enough to bend and warp it, or the spine was warped right out of the box, and like closing up the case almost would like warp it to the side. You couldn't close it. You see that probably most with like the really cheap releases. And I mean, if you're pre-ordering and getting a big like bonus edition, like a collector's edition, you'd think they would pay the extra $1 for them to get the right cases. If you're having to pay like $30 or 40 or even like $100 more for, you know, what's essentially just an extra case. Persona 5 Royal actually good. Actually, it might have been was it Persona 5 the launch edition that was like, was that the PS3 game? It was either the PS3 or the PS4 original version had a steelbook. I seem to remember that was a really bad one, and that's why it didn't sell out. Like, there was like 5 or 6 years you could still get it or more on Amazon. They never ran out of copies because people complained that the Steelbook was crap or something. It was fine, okay. What the hell was it? I thought it was another Sega Atlas. There was something around the same time as Catherine. Maybe slightly before that. Because not that many companies use Steelbooks in their collector's editions that are like Japanese companies. Please don't turn me to stone. And of course. Ah, crap. Alright, we're gonna have to do regular attack. Alright, and... It's just an empty room. Chest room, finally. Mage's staff, wizard staff, healing staff, all ones I don't need or want. Okay. And we're just gonna attack to get through here. One of the problematic steelbooks that I had was, well, it's not problematic. It was, I don't know if it was the actual steelbook company. I don't think it was. It could have been. But a lot of them had warping issues. Was the steelbook of the Metropolis anime that Mill Creek put out, and then like within like a month or two, the entire like the movie was pulled. I don't know if there was a licensing problem. Like, we did our review for it. It was a really fantastic release, and the steelbook was great, but like it disappeared from all storefronts completely. And I even emailed them and I was like, so what's going on with this? And they just never responded. Like, they're usually pretty good with responding. I think there was a problem with their licensing or something, because it had both English and Japanese tracks on it. And the Steelbook edition Blu-ray with everything on it was like $30 US, 35 or 40 Canadian. And I think the Japanese version was like $200. It was like 180 or 190 bucks. Something ridiculous, like old school anime pricing. Like, they had the rights to make it. They released it, but they only had the rights to make and release like a single run of it or something. And that's too bad, because like it was good, but the steelbook, I had heard some people had the warping issue. I didn't, but I did have this issue where it wouldn't click shut completely. There wasn't anything wrong with like the spine of it or anything. It was, I think, the little plastic tabs on the inside just didn't align 100% properly. Oh yeah, it was a license thing? Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess if you can find it in a bargain bin or get your hands on it at a used store or something, if they don't know, it might be worth it, because it's probably going to be a while till you get another release like that. And let's be honest, like, the quality of that release was so high because it was the same transfer from the Japanese high-end copy that I don't see any other company releasing a version that looks better or even has any more features or anything, unless Sony decides to put out a 4K UHD. Speaking of, when I think about it, I'm surprised that, like, Steam Boy doesn't have a proper, like, Blu-ray or 4K release. Because I remember liking that, too. I think a lot of Sony owned, like, anime properties are basically neglected in the West. And I know we've got friends that will go apeshit if you start... Oh, crap. They're probably going to stone me, aren't they? We're going to do regular stuff. Yeah, there's... It's as if they don't get us started on, like, the most recent... or maybe not the most recent, but that Astro Boy series where it was all cut up like crap. Mill Creek's had the rights to it a few times to release it, and they release what they're allowed to release or what they have access to, and that's basically the standard, like, 4:3 ratio cut up TV versions, whereas there's the original 16:9 versions in English that are available that have some scenes that are longer. It's a better cut. And that's apparently, like, it's available, they just don't release it. And it could easily be in HD, because I think it has an HD master. G-Kid save. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Tokyo Godfathers, they did save it. So, I mean, it's a film by film, license by license basis, and it's kind of paid. I actually haven't received a lot of press releases in the last several months from G-Kids. I don't know what they've got coming. All right, next floor. So what we got? 2 ways up. Okay. I'm gonna assume this shorter one here is just a chest room. We'll see. Just for the sake of its attack. Oof. Hit pretty hard. Knife leveled up, that's good. Okay. So we'll keep going up this path, I guess. And we'll see what happens. Oh, drops next week. Okay. I don't even know what that title is. What we got in here? Yeah. We're just going to attack instead of using spells here. If I remember, every Final Fantasy, the Curl, panther-looking cat thing, usually has Blaster or something that's a one-hit kill. Sunblade. Ooh. Sword touched by the sun's grace that is effective against the undead. And the defender sword. That's good. So we'll go up here and see what happens, but I feel like there's going to be something missed in that other pathway. what's up here. Yarp? Let's see what's over here. There's weirdness. There's gonna be hidden pathways, I think. Alright, let's see what's down in here. Treasure room. Elixir, elixir. Okay, I like that. There's gonna be something down here. So, is it going to be a path that I can go through? No. Or is that where you start? No, that's not where you... Oh, I guess we worked our way back up to where the game started? Okay, yeah, because when you get in here, you go in there, and then you fall down the ground. So, yeah. Okay. That's perfect. Now I go back to the floor below, we go around... We make our way up again. All right. Go from there? No. Get a few weapon levels this way too. It seems like they're going up here. That's right. I never did get that spell. No, I have teleport. It was... Was it? Not exit, whatever it was. There's a spell that you can kick enemies out of the battle, but it also lets you go down one floor in the dungeon. But I feel like if you do that, you might get under level too quickly if you're always relying on that. Okay, so now we're back here. Now we go make the long trip around. Our magic defense is pretty darn high at this point. Most spells don't really seem to do anything to us. Right. And we're almost through this floor. Got another Sunblade just winning it from battle. Actually adds the evasion, but I'm already at max evasion. Now, how close was our magic to popping? Not overly close, so we don't need to worry about that right now. So now we go around. We'll worry about our weapons more than anything. Right. Now we are here. All right. Quick save here. Let's go get the treasure chest before we take on the boss. And we'll actually, I think we're going to unequip Rickard of all of his stuff. And he can be relegated to using a healing item if need be in the battle. So pretty sure we don't use him after this. Spoilers for anybody that hasn't played Final Fantasy or heard of it or watched any videos on this, and I don't know, since YouTube was invented or since like the emulation scene with this game started. I think Final Fantasy 2 was I think it was maybe 5 that was translated first, fan scene, but it was either 5 or 5 and 2, both in like 1998. So if you haven't heard about it by now, you know, pretty much all of your party members die in this that aren't before from the very beginning of the game. Fire and wind flute. Okay. Wasn't anything super special. So what we're gonna do is save right after this again. Heal up with items. And get Rickard prepared for battle. And that should be pretty much... I think we'll be... Yeah, we shouldn't have any trouble here. Alright, healing time. And... that. give him the protect ring. Give him a diamond. And then he can take the ice armor because I don't really care about it. And then we'll put him in back row. And we'll save. And we'll actually run from this battle because we don't need to fight. Here we go. So, Leon fight. Earl throne is mine. Yada yada yada. Back from hell. All the wyvern, you can use it to escape. Bye-bye, Rickard. I think he's one of the members you can play in the... Was it Dawn of Souls or something they called it? In the PSP version where they made, like, the post-game. Which was actually really cool because it wasn't just like a tacky add-on where it's like, oh, you can play as some of the characters who died. It's you all go to the underworld and you find out that you have to fight the Emperor in the underworld at the same time that you fight him up here. You're fighting his soul, basically. And you don't realize that the only way to beat the boss of the game, or the reason you're able to beat the boss of the game, is because you were fighting up here and your fallen comrades were fighting in the underworld at the same time. Which is too bad they're not implementing any of those in this, but I guess it's supposed to be the pixel remaster of the original, right? And that's something that they would have to determine was actually canon. So Rickard died. Joseph, Minmu, Sid, Rickard, all dead. Alright, so glad that I unequipped the best equipment from him. It's funny when you think about it, this is actually the only dungeon where there is no boss battle. You go through that whole thing and there was no boss battle. Okay, so Leon. What is he good with? Okay, so swords is number one technically and axes. But I'm going to give him all the spears. Thunder Spear. Oh wait. Left hand is preferred. Thunder Spear. And Ice Lance. Giant's Gloves. Giant's Helm. Diamond Cuirass. What do they have to say? Anything special? Castle that appeared at the Emperor's resurrection can only be pandemonium. Forces of hell. Do they have anything to say about anything anymore? Any new... Nope. I guess Layla's the only one that survives. That's the party member. let's see here. Once the monsters held forth in the world, the path known as the Jade Passage. So, what's the Jade Passage? I've heard the place in Mysidia known by that name. Narrow straight east of Mysidia, the whole area is the Jade Sea. During the time of the Emperor's resurrection. Just the fairy tales of Kashwan speak of a small lake in Mysidia. So the people who enter the lake are taken to hell. So we're gonna go get all of our items. Actually, wait a minute. Leon has no magic. Can I get anything I can give him? No. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sell all of our items that we don't need. And oh, at least it shows us where we're supposed to go. Okay, good. I don't remember that being there on the map before. I think they just added it. So let's go, actually, let's go talk to our old buddy here and see if he has anything to say. Going to hell, you must be the stupidest sons of... Look, promise me you'll come back safe. Okay, he didn't say anything else. Now, let's heal up. What's gonna happen? I'm scared. The Emperor's risen. There's no hope. God, these guys are so defeatist. No tomes that are worth it there. They didn't... I'm just checking to see if they somehow happen to... No, they didn't get any new items. Alright, so let's replenish the basics. In there. I was thinking, because I have all that, I actually don't need those items. Like eye drops and all that junk. It's taking up inventory space. Even antidotes, because if I'm gonna have enough of the other stuff, I should be fine. Sell you. Okay, so see, wasn't there? I thought there was. Maybe it's only in Mysidia where they're selling. I thought somebody was selling stuff that was like cure everything, but anyway, we'll get all of the ethers and all of the elixirs that money can buy. So that's... that was a little painful having to spend all that money, but it's spent. It's spent. And let's do a full save here. Now, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Diced and talk to the... talk to the kid and the mom, because I think there's a... it's a little secrety thing because not a lot of people change their dialogue, but I believe they change theirs because they'll ask if Rickard's coming back. They should kind of leave here. What happened to that Dragoon man? He's coming back, right? Rickard's gone then too. He was a noble Dragoon. I'm sure he was pleased that he could die in the name of honor. Key item. Wyvern. Nothing happens. Jade Passage. Nothing. Dragoon. I think we'll leave Dice and find a new place to live. There are too many painful memories within these walls. Oh, I meant to thank you for saving the Wyvern and giving me a chance to see Rickard one last time. That's why I want you to have this. It's the most treasured possession of Dragons and Dice. Excalibur. With Rickard gone, you should be the one to wield the sword. So bam, I'm actually glad I got here because I did not know or remember this. So that's how you get Excalibur in this game. Oh my god, that was a good move. A legendary sword handed down by the Dragoons, effective against many types of enemies. Bam. Well, I'm glad I went back because I did remember that like the dialogue would change with these people, but they were like some of the only ones that did. You go to the other towns, nothing really happens. Like if we go back to go to the Snow Village, we can talk to like Nellie, I think. I don't think the dialogue with her changes, and she's one of the only people that you can talk to because all the other villages are basically gone. So don't let Joseph's death be in vain. I think it's just the same stuff. Oops, wrong one. See, it's all about Joseph dying way back. They could have added a little more dialogue here. Daddy isn't coming back, is he? Yep, same dialogue. And I know we looked earlier at the town where they were building the Dreadnought. They don't say anything new either. Mysidia might, though. Let's go take a look. Can I land right there? No, I can land there, though. They might have something to say. Breaking the seal, no magic, no hurry to Finn. No, we've already done that. Oh, what we can do is we can go in here and ask the keywords that have changed slightly. Pelamecia. The king of Pelamecia was said to be a man of tremendous pride. Once he decreed that he would give his daughter to any man who could penetrate the castle. Men who scaled cliffs, men who dug tunnels, were all humble before the walls of the impenetrable castle. But finally came men who succeeded where others had failed. Filling a great bag with hot air, he floated up, alighted on the castle roof, and entered the castle. Enraged at being outwitted, the king attempted to seize the man, but with an airy confidence, the man, together with the princess, escaped into the sky. Cyclone doesn't have anything on that. Jade Passage is a path along joining this world with Hell. The passage leads to Pandemonium, the Castle of Hell. I think that's the last. I don't think there's any more keywords in this game either. It might be the last one. Anyway, let's go to the Jade Passage. We should have enough items for everything in this game, but if we somehow don't, we can always, I think we can cast teleport to exit. Oh yeah, we were gonna, I'll sell that extra item. We're gonna go back here and we'll see if they have like a remedy or whatever item that's a cure-all, just in case I were to run out of MP or something. Because it is the last place you can buy stuff. Blade, Blink Tome. Nope. No. No, okay. It's our HP situation. We're pretty much full. We are full. Okay. So, we're going to save in front of the Jade Passage. I remember this having... I think it had some items in there. And then we get to Pandemonium. It's going to be interesting. Cool effect. Neat. Alrighty, so there's 3 doors. There's a chest at the bottom there. We'll check the top door first. Then we'll get the chest on the right. Then we'll check the middle door, and then we'll get the chest at the bottom, and then go to the right there, yeah. And I think at this point we're not going to level up our spells anymore. I mean, we could, but we probably just want to get through the game. Especially, they're not that close to level 10 yet anyway. Diamond Mace. No, because I get that extra attack from each of those knives. Until we find like a much stronger weapon, it's not worth it. Alright, so yeah, we'll check the center door there. Ew. Oh my god. Okay, it's temporary stuff, so it wasn't like she was completely turned. Yeah, the remasters haven't. I thought there was something different. Like the engine, like the pixel remasters were an engine that were maybe a modified version of that. I know Final Fantasy VI, when I played that, that's the one I played the most when it first came out. That was last year. That one, there is a segment. Most of it is the same as this engine. They actually used the HD 2D whatever engine, 2D HD, for the Opera House, and it is dramatically different looking, completely different lighting. It looks like Octopath Traveler, even with the layering. They even put in 3D models for it. Like everything, it actually looks strange because it's so different looking than all the rest of the pixel remaster. Yeah, and I remember them making mention that the game like actually shifts engines within it and over to it. Like, and if I saw that and I was like, that's what we need for Chrono Trigger. We don't need like super high. Like, I don't want a Final Fantasy VII remake fidelity Chrono Trigger. What I would like from Chrono Trigger is either using like the 2D HD, or if we're not going to go that route, I would love if we had like full, like completely cell shaded sprites hand drawn in HD. All right, so let's get through it. So it's probably the top right corner. We'll work our way over there slowly. You're in nothing room. Spear level went up. Chest up here. I don't really care about these Hellfire items. Probably have to use them up. I find that using items, like spell books or items that are spells... Oops, that's not good. That's, don't really work because they don't take your own magic power into account. So they'll actually be less powerful than if you leveled up the spell yourself. It's too bad that you get Leon here at the end of the game and he's not even like... You figure he'd have like 3,000 HP or more. But he's actually pretty underpowered for where you should be here. Okay, so let's get the chest on the right here. Yeah, okay. It's Dragon Quest III that's getting the HD 2D. And I think it's supposed to be a world... Okay, when they announced it at that show, was it 2 years ago now? 2020 or 2021? When they had that Dragon Quest Live thing, they did announce that it was going to be a simultaneous worldwide release. So I believe it's slated for the summer. But we haven't heard anything on it, like, at all in 2 years. And people were asking, are they going to make more? And they did confirm they are. And they're like, why are they starting with 3? Well, that's because, spoiler alert, 3 is actually the first in the trilogy. Because the first game is so simple and small. I was surprised that they didn't start with that, but it's hard to make that game. I don't think they can sell it for full price, like, at all. It's so small. Like, I beat Final Fantasy 1 in, what was it, like 6 hours of playing on here. It's like, I don't know, if you made a modern version of it, it's like 4 hours. So they couldn't really make a full retail copy. It wouldn't be worth it. But the second game is also, I think, like only 10 hours or so. I've never actually beaten the second game. I've only played a little bit of it. But so the first game, you show up in this land. You're the descendant of the legendary Erdrick or Loto or Roto, depending on the translation. And you know, the whole goal is you save a princess from a dragon, and then right near after that, you end up going to beat the you beat the evil, you know, dragon lord or whatever, the boss of darkness. And the second game, you play as the 3 descendants, or 3 people that are descendants of you from the first game. And the world's a little bigger. I don't know much more beyond that story-wise. And the third game, you're a new guy and you go around the world, and the world in that is sort of based on our actual world, like medieval world. Like there's towns and that are based on like here's like Italy, here's like this, here's like that, but it's called different names. But it was sort of based on on Earth, and then when you think the game is over, you beat the boss of that game, which again I haven't played much. I played a little bit of it. You beat the boss of that, and you find out, oh no, now you've got to go to this other world. You end up going to another world completely, like another dimension world where you got to save people, and you find out it's the world from the first game, and you find out you're the legendary warrior from that you play the descendant of in the first game. So it's prequel to so it's the first one. So I guess they're wanting to release them in chronological order, not game order anymore, if that makes sense. It's also the largest of the three, and it's at the size of game that you would expect like Final Fantasy 2 or 3 to be at. Like it's a larger game, enough that they could charge full price for. I think what they're going to do is they're going to do Dragon Quest 3, and then they're going to do Dragon Quest 1 and 2 packaged together, because that's enough to make it a full game. And that's what they did on the Game Boy and actually a few times they packaged the first two games together. So that's the only way I could see them actually asking full retail price, even though it'll look fantastic in that art style. It's just you can't get $60 or $80 for a 5-hour game that's only single player. You just can't do it. And they're also, it's Nintendo, they're not going to be willing to sell it at anything lower than full price because it's Dragon Quest. So I think it's going to be 3, 1, and 2, and then we're going to see 4, 5, and 6, which will be great, because I played 4 a little bit on the NES. I actually owned it. I bought it for $20, and I bought it for I paid like $19.99 at EB Games GameStop when they were literally like at the very end of when they had like any retro games in like 2001. And then I think I sold it for 80 or 100 on eBay, and I'm kicking myself because it's probably worth a hell of a lot more now. And I never played the DS games when they made the ports of them. So I'd love to go ahead and do that. They'll probably go through that, because I think 4, 5, and 6 are not connected, but they're like a loose trilogy. Like the first 3 are legit, like completely connected. Wait, what does Cat Claws do? Weapon effective against a 3-blade. You know what? The Rippers have been good, but that's bringing me back up to a more reasonable amount. What did I get? Dragon armor? Elemental attacks. Yeah, he'll take that. So where are we here? There is... Yeah, so we'll take the bottom door here. I hope we get more odd ones like Live Alive. Treasure of the Rudras would be a great one to do, because even the fan translation was really well done. Also, Treasure Hunter G, which was like almost like, it looked like it could have run on like the PlayStation, even though it was on Super Nintendo. There's a few other titles. I don't think Vomit Lagoon is going to work. Like, there are certain ones that just, it's not that they're niche, it's just that there's not a hook, like a really good hook that would make people interested in seeing them even in HD, like in that style. Alright, so where are we here? So, We have to make our way slowly towards the bottom, obviously. And we'll get all the chests that we can find. What I would really hope is, like, those games, I know there's a lot of work involved with making these, like, Octopath-style games. Because, yes, they have an engine, but a lot of it is handcrafted. But if the engine is really good, I would kind of hope that they would license that engine. Like, I know they made the Lumina engine for Luminous or whatever it is for Luminous production stuff like Final Fantasy 15 and Forspoken, but I would really like to see them license out the Pixel engine for other companies to use. Like I'd like to see Lufia, or even like Lunar or something. But those might not work because I think they sort of have to be like actually tile based. No, actually, wait. Lunar might work. Oh, I'm not poisoned. It's just really bad water. Like, as far as Super Nintendo RPGs, like there are more obscure ones like Paladin's Quest and other ones that I think have cool art styles that wouldn't. I don't know how many companies would be willing to do an upgrade like that, but I think the Lufia series is probably like Lufia, or like licensing it out to Capcom so that we could have Breath of Fire 1 and 2 in that style. I think the Breath of Fire series and Lufia series are the two big RPGs franchises not from Square or Enix on the Super Nintendo that would benefit the most and have the audience and have like at least people that know what they are that would actually want them, because I would want all the crazy obscure JRPGs to get the treatment, but let's be honest, it's only going to be the ones that have potential to sell, and it's Breath of Fire is probably the one that has the most potential to sell that way, and then followed by Lufia, and then I'm trying to think, wouldn't be Paladin's Quest, wouldn't be like Robotech or Robotrek, sorry. It wouldn't be many others. I mean, the obvious one that comes to mind outside of Chrono Trigger and outside of all that stuff. I mean, well, actually, maybe not obvious. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. You'd think that they would maybe consider doing a pixel remaster of that. Not a full HD 2D, but like a pixel remaster. Because then you'd have like we've already had remakes, like full remakes of like the Mana series, like Secret of Mana and all. King Behemoth, die quickly, please. The robot one, it's probably Robotrek. That's the one that I bought that again for like, I got it at a local store for like $4 or $5. Yeah, Mystic Quest, like, yeah, but yeah, Robotrek is the one where you, Runex, where you design up to 3 or 4 robots in a lab, and then you go around the world, and the world has an overworld map like Super Mario World, and then you can create spells and enemies and stuff, and it's a bit of a grid. It's a fun, quirky game. I really, really liked it. It's the closest thing to Earthbound, which is, Earthbound is one that people will be like, would they do that? Well, Nintendo doesn't really use other people's engines. That would be a nice one. I would say is Mario RPG would probably be the one that people would want most, because that's the one that Square developed. But that would be, it would be interesting. Nintendo might want it. It would be very cool if we could have a pixel remaster of that. But I don't know, the art style is very different. Who knows how it would work, but Mystic Quest would work, Robotrek would work, but nobody would do it. Because I don't know if that was Enix. That might have been somebody else. That might have been Enix. But what I would like to see, and have them actually fix the the glitches and the bugs and the hit detection and stuff is a secret of Evermore from Square in Pixel. It's still one of the most beautiful Super Nintendo games made by Square in-house, but like not in Japan. It was made in-house in America in a studio they built in California, Squaresoft USA. And they only ever made the one game, and it didn't perform the way they wanted it to, so they shut the studio down. And I don't think it's ever been released in Japan. I don't think it has a Japanese language version. But that would be something to do the Pixel remaster on. Fix the battle system, because there were some hit detection issues. And you can actually get a much larger audience with that now, I think. Yeah, Mario RPG using the Silicon Graphics SGI or whatever it was. It's probably not going to be. I mean, you can do it, but it would be a lot more work. Yeah, unless they have the original models, it would be a lot of work. I mean, I think Mario RPG is due for an actual full remake. And if I got a remake, what I would like to see is for it to be done to make it look like plasticine claymation. New axe for Guy. I thought it was... What's that new item we got? Oh yeah, it was a rune axe, but we don't... Wait a minute. Okay. And then diamond base. There we go. Did we get everything? I didn't miss anything in the corners. No. Oh, is that the guy where I can buy stuff from? Oh, I did spend all my money and wasted it probably on elixirs. Earthbound Mother, yeah. I think... Okay, so this is where you get the Flare Tome if you don't win it in battle or find that singular one. It's too late, though. And if we're thinking of games that are other styles, maybe, like, obviously the Pixel Remaster works best for turn-based RPGs. I don't know how well it would work for action. I think it might even be, like, the way the particle engine works, it might be too much for Switch. Strategy games would work, and it's going to sound weird, but I honestly would like SimCity, like the Super Nintendo SimCity to get the pixel art. Like, I want to see like a super high quality SimCity pixel art game. I think I played a few different ones, and I reviewed one in the summer. What was it? The one of Mark or Titan or something of Industry of Titan or whatever. And that was pretty close to that, but it wasn't 100%. Okay, so we're gonna check the right path, then the center path, grab the chest, go to the top right, and then check the top path. Okay, so that's where we go. So now we can check the others. Probably going to be all dead ends, but maybe there'll be an actual chest room. Crap. Alright. So, nothing. Chest over there. Let's hope we get some more strength increases for Leon. I know some people like really go hard and train him up, but at this point, everybody else is so much more powerful that it's not really necessary. Chest room. Dragon armor, Aegis shield, Holy Lance. Okay, so he's finally getting a good new weapon. 203, Thunder Spear. Aegis shield. What do you? Force protection against elemental attacks and status ailments. It's still not worth it. But yeah, like Earthbound, Mother's being done in clay. Oh god. This is good. I'll make it through. Clay style for that. I would almost want it to be, and this is going to sound maybe a little strange. I would like, Earthbound to be done in the Paper Mario style. Or yeah, like I would like that, or I don't know, maybe even like the woolly Yoshi thing, or maybe actually no, you know what? Yoshi's Island, Mario 2. I would love that. Like if people say, oh, it's like that style would work, but I don't know. There was a period where Nintendo was doing all these like trying to make everything look like individual weird like crafted art styles and that, and there's some cool, like there is some really cool designs out there. I'm just trying to think, like I'd like them to try doing something outside the box with their remakes and remasters. We're obviously still waiting on a couple things from the Wii to get ported, like The Last Story, and on the Wii U, I guess Xeno X. But I think it's time that, you know, they start moving back, like, hey, if they want to get some very easy to release games, they should think about doing what Square Enix is doing here with these games, because they're selling quite well and they look great. They've had some quality of life updates. There's still issues I've had with the first two games here, some balance stuff. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. You are gonna cast Life, you're gonna cast Ultima, and you're gonna cast Cure. Life leveled up. Good, Leon. Oh, we got a Holy Lance out of there. Oh, we got the Yoshi bow that we already had. But 2 Holy Lances is always good. Back to the bottom right one. Oh, that's not what we wanted. No! I didn't want to auto battle like that. There's a recent rumor that the Last Story remake is happening because we don't know the title. I've wanted the Apple Arcade one, Fantasian. Now that the second part has been out for like over a year, I've wanted to play it. Like I had that Apple Arcade, or actually the Apple TV that I bought. It had overheating issues with the 4K version. I could feel it overheating and it would freeze. And I played a little bit of it, and it was pretty cool. But I don't know if it's ever coming out on any other platform, because it was revealed that Apple completely financed the game. Alright, so let's move around there. Now I hope that the deal doesn't mean that, hey, they're gonna be, you know, getting the last story exclusive to Apple Arcade. I hope not, because nobody really wants that. The last story is one where I was not a fan of the Wii controls for it when I had a friend that had it, tried it, and it had performance issues because it was far too ambitious for what they were trying, like what they could do on the Wii, that I feel like it might just like get like a completely second life if they can put it out on the Switch. They can leave the motion controls in if they want to, but you can, like, we saw with Xeno that it can be adapted no problem. Yeah, Monolithic Tech Wizards. Well, I mean, it's made up of that experiment. Originally, it was, now some of the people have left, but it was that experimental team that was basically all the young boys and girls from Square Enix on the PlayStation team when that was new. Like, they put them on all the experimental games whenever they were trying out new tech. And that's how we got Xenogears, and I think some of them left, I think, shortly after Xenogears, or left right after Chrono Cross. But like that was just sort of the dream team of all the young, really ambitious people that were willing to, you know, really try to do the best they could with like such limited hardware. And then they ended up making some games, I believe, for Namco. And then I think the team was made up of, or the current team is made up of former people from Square Enix in the mid '90s, and that are now like obviously senior devs, and some people from the late '90s, early 2000s that were at Namco. Oh yeah, Xeno 3, like, is, the weird thing is, I would still argue that the best looking Switch game is probably Mario Odyssey. But that's, like, it was designed to be that, if that makes sense, like, and performance-wise and everything. But I think it's the best looking game when it comes to something that you'd think would look, it looks like a PS5 or PS4 game. It looks like a good high-end PS4 game, and you're like, how did they make this work? Yeah, exactly. That's why it's kind of unfair to say, hey, Mario Odyssey is the best looking game on the system, when it's not a tech demo, but it was made specifically with somebody who, you know, didn't outright design the entire SoC, but made by people that worked on integrating the custom SoC into their entire development tool chain. So that in itself is just, it's not really that fair. That's like, trying to think of something close to that. I guess that would be like, actually we haven't had anything like that on PlayStation yet, not this generation, because nothing was made. Okay, I guess Astro Bot maybe, but like that's not the same as far as using all the advanced controller features. I guess that's probably one of the best examples. All right, the Castle of Hell, Pandemonium. I know there's hidden walls and crap everywhere here. I forget if I have to go all the way around or if I can just pass through here. Might have to pass it all the way through. Good lord. 3,000 damage? Yeah, exactly. Knack was like, if you look at it now, you're like, oh, but when it came out, like that was not just a tech demo. It really showed off. It did stuff with the particles and the explosive character, all it stuff that most PS4 games didn't even do at the end. Like it was a technical showcase. Obviously, you're like, oh, it doesn't hold up like the PS4. It's because the PS4 Pro was way more powerful by the end, but at launch, there wasn't anything like that on the Xbox that showcased that. I guess. Actually, I don't think Xbox has ever had a game like on any of their platforms specifically ground up that could only work on there, because everything has always been designed to also be PC compatible. I guess on the PS3, I would say Metal Gear Solid 4 is still maybe the best looking game on the platform. And that and Final Fantasy 13 being designed, again, ground up, like, and both of those games weren't even first party titles. Lynx maybe? Yeah, maybe. Maybe, yeah. Nintendo's usually pretty good at having one or two titles pretty much right out of the gate, or maybe slightly delayed because they've had like some issues, but they'll be like pretty much ready to go immediately. That are like that kind of quality. I guess on GameCube, Mario Sunshine maybe, but yeah, Mario Sunshine probably there. On the N64, there wasn't any, like, I mean, sure you could say like Mario 64 holds up, but it's not that technical powerhouse crazy one. That's probably maybe Smash. That really punches above its weight class, and you might not think that at first glance, but it's probably Smash. Yeah, Pilot Wings showed off a lot of the hardware, but it wasn't graphically the most impressive for what the platform could do. Super Nintendo, it didn't come till way later maturity, but as far as like really showcasing from a first-party perspective, it's probably Yoshi's Island. And then on the regular NES, some people will say things like Mario 3. It's not. It's Kirby. Kirby's Adventure is the best looking first-party title that pushes everything that they could possibly do, and doesn't have that much slowdown or anything, and actually works quite well. Oh, good lord. Death Riders suck. Okay, so the chest up there. And is that a teleport path? Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, great. See, I get this dungeon confused in my head with Exodus Castle in Final Fantasy V, because in that one, it's kind of similar looking, but then you go to an area and you have to, like, you get stuck and you have to reveal that it's actually like a living, breathing flesh castle. It's gross. Oh, there are ribbons in this. Okay. I got 2 of them. Guards against elemental attacks and status effects. You better believe I'm equipping the ribbon. And then you're gonna get the twist headband. Alright, so heal up. And I've got ether first. Where am I teleporting to now? Okay, so there's going to be some weird false paths here, probably. Looks like it's just the one chest. So I gotta go up, down, right. Okay, got it. Where I gotta go? Down, right down. Okay, down. Pilot Wings should really make a comeback. And that's something I was going to mention. I have a feeling that if Nintendo does, with their next game system, do VR or some augmented reality-based thing. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, 5 doors. We'll try each one. If they do Augmented, I think Pilot Wings will be their first VR title. Or if they decide to partner up with an actual VR company for licensing some of their stuff, like, I don't know, if they went with like the Oculus or something. Pilot Wings makes perfect sense. Okay, wait a minute. Wait, what? Okay, what happens if I go through the other doors? Okay, so I'm going to assume that 2 of the doors are dead ends. If I go in here and I go up and over... So wait, this center one... Okay, this is the door to go to the next area. I know that now. And it's the right door that leads to the one chest. We'll do that. I think we're getting pretty close to the end. Where the fuck... What? Okay, so this is just the chest door. So this goes up and then down to that center chest. And then the other one, maybe? Okay, we'll go through. We'll see what happens. Oh, that's that one-hit kill spell blaster that I'm always terrified of. Okay, so we go through here. Oh, okay. You're going to attack. You're going to use Ultima. You're going to attack. You're going to attack. Okay, so... That's not too bad. Genji equipment. Yeah, I never found the blood sword in this. Maybe I missed it somewhere. And apparently the blood swords can, like, nuke these guys real good. What did I get? Genji helm. Genji helm's not as good as what I got on. Yes, for him it's better. Okay, so I don't think I can go anywhere else in here, so that's just for that. And then the door next to us is for Oh, there was a secret way to go there. I think. Yeah, we'll just have Maria do Ultima from now on. Get Ultima to at least level 10. Because Ultima seemed to work pretty well on that boss, even when everybody else was having some struggles. Okay, so it's over, up, down, up. Up, up, up. Doesn't look like there's anything to do with that pillar over there at the top. Like, it seems odd that... I'll go over there anyway. Maybe there's something weird that we're not seeing. I wonder if they would ever consider doing Pokemon in the Pixel Remaster HD style. I mean, they're not averse to releasing like a ridiculous amount of versions of things. Zombie Morgan's dead. Gloves. What does that give me? Yeah. That's a much higher defense. I'll give you the power arm. No. You have the weakest defense, so you're gonna get the power armlet. And then we'll go up here and see what the hell was over there. Probably nothing. Got another ribbon. We're gonna keep the Genji on him. Huh. There was something up here. Holy shit. Nope. Free, current fancy using it. Not now. Yeah, because they have to learn a program. So I found a secret in the wall. Let's see what's in the chest. Probably something good. It's really hidden like this. And it didn't show up on the map at all. Power armlet is gonna go to you. That was where the Masamune was. Okay. Ton of unequal power, cast haste when used in battle. Actually gonna raise my evasion. And then now we have the Excalibur. My attack is maxed out. Can't go any higher. Oh well. See, it's like a beating heart on the wall. That's how you could see that you could walk through it. There might be another hidden thing in here. Maybe not. I'm not going to bother. I've already got the Masamune out of it, so. Going into Fire Emblem with Engage. Corn becomes much like. Yeah. Is it that obvious that the female main character is the best in there? I'll probably do too. For me, it's about more about the voice acting, and I'm not saying that the guy voice actors in games are bad. It's just a lot of times it seems the women tend to put in the better effort. A lot of the guys sound kind of samey in games. Alright, so now we're in here. So we're gonna get that chest up there. Then we enter this other door. Also, our voice actor is superior for Corn, but biased because she's my son. Who's the voice actress? Oh shit, I died. I've actually not been. I wasn't up on who the voice actors were. I felt like they did some videos showcasing the game, but I'm going in, for all intents and purposes, pretty much mostly blind to play the game. So I'm interested to see who they got to voice. Like, is it Nintendo and Square tend to use like non-union actors from England a lot? Is it somebody more famous, or? Beelzebub. What do we get? Genji armor. Oh, brings my evasion way down, but oh my god. That defense. Okay. It's already got 95. Evasion's not a big deal when you have back row. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, let's go with the dragon armor. Iron Giant, what if it drops something good? Marcella Lance Poe. Iron Canonical voice requiring questions. Okay, cool. Now, we finally get through with this giant floor, all these mazes. So with this final door. Alright, let's see, where do I go? Up. And around. A loop-de-loop. Okay. Make one of the bosses a death loop. Okay. I'll have to check her out. Uh-oh. Shit. One-hit kills. Ugh. Quick save. Sit down, grab that chest. We've already got a Genji. Did we get a Genji armor? I think, yeah, we got a Genji armor. We've got... Is it going to be the Genji shield, maybe? Might be the only thing left. Tiamat's the only returning elemental fiend. I wonder if there's Gungnir or one of those spears. Maybe that's what this is. Who knows? So, sword level 12. Oh. So, the only official ribbon I guess you can get in the game. You know what? That brings magic defense a fair bit. So now we've got a full set of ribbons, which I didn't even know were in the game. So now we go up and around-y-downdy. How close is Ultimate? Not that close yet. And okay, so that's where this put us. This Masamune like goes through all the fences regardless of what type of enemy it is. Okay. She became one of the big background voices years ago. It's really... Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, I wonder what the max spell level is. Maybe is it 16 or something? You know what? There we go. Okay, so chest in the center there. Is that it? I don't think there's any other hidden chests or anything anywhere. Alright, so let's make our way around this loop-de-loop. I think we're pretty much at the end. This might be the last floor. How close is Ultima to being leveled up? Pretty close, okay. So, chest the top left, chest the bottom right. Do the bottom right one first. Okay, then we'll go to the top left. Okay, so now these like chest bosses are becoming regular enemies. So neither of these chests were really any good. Closer way now. A little bit more. So to the bottom left, I don't see any chests anywhere in here. So here we go, final boss. We are going to elixir everybody for the sake of. Quick save. Really? Okay, so you have braved the bowels of hell to reach me, but the hand of man which deals in false justice and forsaken love can never hope to defeat the Lord Master of Hell. Okay, so we're all going to attack and see how that works out. Oh. Okay, well you can keep attacking. And you shouldn't at all. So you're going to attack. You're going to Ultima. You're going to... intellect. And we're going to do it on you. Ooh. Okay. And you're gonna... That won't work on them. So you're gonna use that. Oh, I didn't mean it's actually, it's not actually trying to select the high potion. I was dumb. Okay, so you are Taki, you are Ultima. I'm gonna try attacking with you again, and we're gonna select the high potion. Glad I got the Masamune. I think maybe in trouble. Just like the final boss of the last game where they made it like way higher difficulty than ever before. I think they might have just done the same thing here. 28 elixirs. So we'll go through them, and if I die here, I die here. Yeah, that's not gonna cut it. I think the blood sword apparently does like over 1,000 damage every time to it. Or I've seen it even like 2,000 damage. So it just healed 2,700 from me. It's gonna take me forever to get back to that. Starfall. Okay, it's not too bad because my magic defense is super duper high. The Starfall is Meteor, basically. You can keep casting that on me, that's fine, I'll just use elixirs. Okay. Gotta heal. Alright, guy, you're gonna use... okay. You're going to attack. You're going to Ultima. You are going to elixir yourself. You are going to elixir yourself. Okay. It's healing more than I can hurt him. And I'm like way overpowered for the rest of the area. That's too much. Like it's, oh my god. I don't know how I'm gonna... I don't think I can do any damage more than, like, he's healed almost entirely. Hellfire's not going to do anything to him, but at this point we're probably going to start the battle over anyway. Cast Ace, okay. Cast Berserk. Um, might help a little bit. Not if he's going to be attacking me for that kind of damage, though. Try this in a row. It's like the Masamune is the only thing that can hurt him. Like, ugh. I hope they didn't give him like a ridiculous amount of HP. I would really rather not have to start over from scratch again. It's too much. I can't beat him. I don't think it's possible with my party. Like, and I don't want to spend. I tell you, I do not want to spend another 5 or 6 hours grinding somehow to be able to beat him for no. And he's back at full health. Okay, that's just fucking unfair. I'm gonna pause for a second here, and I'm gonna see what his HP actually is, because they gave 10 times the HP to Chaos in the first game that he had. Emperor. FF2 Pixel Remaster. Stats. saying you can stack Berserk status. We'll see about that. Couldn't get a reading on what his HP actually is. It's 15,000 in the original version, I think. Attack. Suna. Attack. Okay, so they didn't increase his HP. It's the original 10,000 HP. They just made him way harder. Way harder. That was way harder. And I didn't see any... I thought I went through every area and found every chest in the game, but I guess I didn't. The blood sword, I was just reading, will do 2,000 damage to him and heal you for 2,000. So, and if you have two of them, you can equip them both to the same person and do 4,000 damage each round. Six, not once but twice. So I wasn't trying to be all like, I was getting pissy, but I'm like, something didn't feel right. I'm like, what is going on here? Because I was real overpowered for this, for everything else here. So I guess we can see the ending. This is before, I guess, final bosses had their multiple phases. It's finally over, isn't it? It was a long struggle. With the Emperor Gun, we have nothing left to fear. But yeah, oh, so that Berserk spell apparently can stack 2 to 3 times. And what that does is it increases attack by, I think, 25%, but lowers your defense by 25%. Or something around there. So you can stack it and get basically 75% more damage. With the combined strength of Cushman and Finn, we'll rebuild the kingdom anew. Together, Princess, we'll create the kingdom fairer than old. Though once a coward, I now stand here a new man. I have all you to thank for that. You have my deepest gratitude. I'm Sir Scott is smiling down from above. Look at you. Do you realize what you've done? Who am I supposed to steal from with the Empire gone? You put me out of a job. I guess let's just start stealing from you. Better watch your backs. You sure showed him, Hirian. You're every bit the bloke I pegged you for. You ever feel like trying your hand at pirating? What? That's not sit well with you, Maria. Look at your next battle's already begun, Hirian. You sure did it. I'm sure my dad's happy to see you too, up here in the clouds. It's funny they brought Nellie in. That's nice. I'm going to be working here, serving the princess. I just want to do whatever I can to help out. Oh, there was the spirit of Joseph. I dedicate ourselves to the task of restoring what was lost. Farewell, words cannot express my gratitude. War finally over. We can all live in peace again together. Right, Leon? No going back, not for all of us, but why? Don't go. That's right, we've been through too much. Can't stop him, not now. We'll meet again. There's the spirits of our friends. And before the Final Fantasy final boss had like... Yeah. 4 or 5 phases, though I think Kingdom Hearts has the worst in terms of final boss phases. Yeah. Nomura tends to like his multiple boss phases. Their long struggle was finally at an end. The Emperor, Pandemonium, the monsters plaguing the world, all had vanished without a trace. Peace had returned once more. The wounds of war would mend, and the memory of those bitter days would fade. One thing would never be forgotten. That a band of young heroes once saved the world. The one thing I always find funny in these RPGs, and I wish they would do better even in modern games. Oh, to fans across the globe, past and present, the crew that brought the originals to life, we offer profound and heartfelt thanks. Scope of the world. The worlds always seem a little too small to be like, there's only 2 castles in the entire world. That sort of stuff. Like, what would help a lot is, even if you couldn't go there, if it was hinted that there's like a lot more towns, or if you go on the overmap, not that you can even go into the towns necessarily, but like if you saw them scattered all over the place. A good example of this is Xenosaga 1. In Xenosaga 1 on the PS2, there's a part where you go to one of the big cities on like the big planet, and the city is massive looking on the overworld map area, and when you walk to it, you can only enter a couple areas, and it's representative of like 2% or 1% of the size of the actual city. And you see areas and sections you can never go to, which is cool, and it gives a sense of actual scope. So towns aren't just like tiny sections, and they're like supposed to be this big area. That one always stuck out in my mind because it's like one of the only ones that ever shows, that you don't necessarily get to explore every part of a town or every part of the world or a continent. You're just in a section representing millions of people, and you're only seeing like 50 people in this one little area. So like if I ever made an RPG, or if I could ever actually, I guess, consult on one, it would be two things. One, make the world, even though you're exploring the whole world, make it feel bigger than it is, or hint at a larger world overall. And number two, and this one's really important, make the game feel like it's taking time. Not feel like to you as a player, but like we have no concept of how long this journey was within the game. It's like, oh, you lost your brother, and then he within like 5 hours of gameplay, you see him show up as the Dark Knight, and it's like he's the Dark Knight who's second in command to the Empire. Wasn't he just an orphan with you that disappeared? How long have you been, like, at the beginning of the game, they're like, you slept for a few days. And then you go on a trip to, like, 2 areas, and then you find out about the Dark Knight. How did he become second in command right away? It's a tough thing to translate. It's not, all you have to do, it's very simple. Okay, a good way to do it, or an easy way to do it, would be, so you wake up in this game and you've been asleep for a couple days. Okay, whatever. They send you, you're leveling up outside. You're leveling up outside, and you don't necessarily know how long you're grinding, and then you go over to the first town that you sleep in. It's fine, and you go and sneak into Finn, where you have to go to the pub, and you find the prince dying. All you have to do is put a thing in where you have to make camp, for the first time, to explain like you're making camp, and the characters just talk to each other, and on that trip that you've made up there with all the fights, they just say something to the extent of, can you believe it's been 6 months already? Or even not to that extent. Let's say you go in and you get the ring from him. You go back to see Princess Hilda, and they let you join the actual resistance at that point. She can say, it's hard to believe it's been, only a short few months since we found you on the outskirts of town. Okay, then it's been this time where they've been grinding and leveling up before they snuck in and did this. 3-6 months or whatever have gone by, and then you go with Minwu after that up to see Joseph, and up north, and that's way across the continent. All you have to do is, when you get there, you script it into the game where it's like, when we get here, you do have to go to the inn just once, and before you go to sleep, they say, oh, it's been so cold, this trek here is so bad. And they could even show the date, or they just mention something about how time has passed. You just do that 3 or 4 times peppered throughout the game, and for all we know, when we go to the town to find the Dreadnought, and you find out about the Dark Knight, it could have been a year has gone by in this long war struggle, and within a year he's somehow risen up the ranks. It's fine, whatever. And by the end of this game, like, yeah, I've put in maybe 15, 17 hours, whatever it is. But in the actual game, it might be 2 years have gone by. So you can do it. And I know that wasn't really a priority back then. I'm just surprised it's so little of a priority now in almost all RPGs, to give the player the sense of scope, of time frame, and how long the struggle was in game time, like within the game. Tactical games tend to do it better, like Final Fantasy Tactics or games in that style, because a lot of those scripted scenarios actually have on-screen dates. Like, they'll actually say, like, this is whatever year of our Lord, blah, 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 and they'll have the month-to-month date, and they have the time frame. Obviously, Persona is really good at that, because you're literally working on a yearly school schedule, right? So, I have no complaints there, but I'm just surprised that it's the little things like this that could really flesh out a game and give overall context and it could even change your perspective on how you've played the game. Because it makes it like when you see your dead friend's spirits at the end of the game here, it would make it even more emotional if you know in your head that like this struggle took multiple years and you lost friends and made friends along the way, rather than everything here could in your mind have been like, oh, this whole thing happened over the course of like a week. Because there's absolutely no sense of scope of how long things took, except for the single thing at the beginning of the game where like you've been asleep for a couple of days, you're finally awake. Fire Emblem, yeah. That for whatever reason, tactical RPGs have never had this problem. They've always, even like going back to Fire Emblem or like Warsong, Langrisser, all the stuff like the late 80s, early 90s NES and Sega tactical games, they perfectly knew how to tell stories like that. It's just for whatever reason, their JRPG traditional turn-based counterparts, they just never did. Or they may even say something like, you might get an odd game on like the Super Nintendo or PlayStation era where they might make mention that it'll be like the whole game takes place over a year. At the end of the game, they'll say something like, you know, can you believe that only a year ago we were da 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 da? Like that's one thing. Final Fantasy 15 is really, really poor at that. Like they do the 10-year jump, or that jump at the end of the game, and that's understandable, but like you don't realize, like, because the game moves kind of slow when you're driving the car and everything, but from the time that you leave town at the beginning of the game to when the town falls and your father dies and the game really picks up, it's only like 10 hours of gameplay when you're playing it, and it doesn't feel like much has happened even with the day-night cycle and stuff. But you find out it's literally been weeks that you've been away. And like you'll find that out as you go along, and then there's time gaps and time jumps, like a few of them within that game, and they're very poor at explaining how long it was, but it does happen. So that there is the feeling that time has moved. They're just not good at explaining it. I almost feel like maybe that's a job I could have, or somebody's job is like, your job is, what's your job? Time continuity and immersion. Your job is to take whatever story and gameplay and make it feel like this is taking a long time. Good example of a game where you know it feels like time is progressing really well. They don't have to tell you how long it is because it's just woven in sort of the story, was the last two God of War games. They were really good at making you feel like this game takes place over weeks and months. Whereas one that doesn't, the Horizon games. The Horizon games could take place over the course of a day, for all you know. Maybe 2 days. Okay. And I guess we're at the end here. I don't think that they have anything else. I wonder, once the game's over, it probably just goes to the main menu. We can check. I wonder if there's a bestiary there we can look at quickly before we stop the stream. So it's over. Yay. Save data. So, extras, bestiary. What did I miss? So I missed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemies. So he had 3,000 there. I only missed 6 enemies in the whole game. It won't tell you what his stats are. Okay. What happens if I load that save? So it loads you right before the end of the game, and you got all your crap. So that means you could go in and probably get a second Masamune and all that stuff, but there's no point in doing anything else, is there? I don't think so. They don't add anything, so it's just, I guess, if you want to max out your stats and do something different. But yeah, so that was fun. I guess we're gonna call it a day here, and we'll probably jump into Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster, maybe even later today. We'll see how I feel. Like I've still got to install some games that I got to play for review, and might do that in the background. So we'll jump in definitely this weekend at some point. I'll probably play Final Fantasy III, maybe later today. But yeah, thanks for sticking around, Ken. I'm gonna take a break. I think it's time to have like a late lunch or something. I will be back, and we'll see how this recording worked and see if the 1080p looks great when we upload it. Yep, thanks. See you around, dude.